Are you buying a home or currently living in a home that might have asbestos? Should you be worried if yes? What can you do about asbestos to ensure your health as a resident in the property? Well, in today's video, we're going to go over all of these so that you understand what asbestos is and what it means for you as a home buyer. Hello everybody, this is Bojie He, your local Bay Area real estate agent. I want to make this video today to talk about asbestos because just like the lead-based paint, which I've covered in my other video, can be frightening to a lot of inexperienced home buyers due to its harmful nature to our health. So at the end of this video, you should be more clear whether asbestos should be a big concern to you or not. Now, let's dive in. Asbestos is a naturally occurring fibrous minerals used in home building materials throughout the world in the last century. Most homes that were built before 1978 often contains asbestos in various places. Even today, asbestos is not illegal to be used in home building materials as long as the content is less than 1%. When it comes to real estate transactions, no law requires the seller to remove all asbestos materials prior to a sale. The reason why asbestos were used in so many building materials is because it's cheap, it's strong, great insulations, and excellent fire retardant qualities. Some of the common places that asbestos-containing materials are used can be found in roofing materials like the shingles and felt, exterior sidings, basically if it's made of cement, floor tiles, like the 9x9 almost certainly would have asbestos, but can be any tiles that's vinyl or ceramic. In the popcorn ceilings, the drywall sheets, tapes, and joint compounds, the ductwork connectors, the list goes on and on. As you can see, asbestos can be literally everywhere and anywhere inside a house. Now, what is the problem as a result of asbestos exposures? Well, let me put it this way. Asbestos fibers is microscopic and can remain airborne for a very long time. The only way it will get to you is by inhalations, which allows it to travel deep down into the lung and over time causes various cancers, especially the mesothelioma. The latency of asbestos disease is anywhere between 10 to 40 years, which means you won't feel sick right away. It takes a long period of time of being exposed to it. For this reason, the following products are permanently banned from using asbestos, like asbestos well compounds, friable pipe insulations, flooring felt, and etc. Now, when you are buying a home or renting a home that is built prior to 1978, how do you know where the asbestos materials are in the house? The reality is, there's no way you could be able to find out where all the asbestos are present in the house. This often requires asbestos abatement contractors to come in and take a look at each sample of the materials and run a lab test. Now, the seller of the house or the landlord of the house is not going to allow anybody to drill into a drywall or rip open parts of the flooring tiles to take samples. Plus, it will cost you a lot of money if you have to do this to every home that you're touring. However, there are something you can do visually to identify some of the asbestos-containing materials. Number one, if the property has attics. Now remember, not every home do though. But go look in the attics and see if you will find what's called vermiculite insulations. It's a mineral with flaky, clear-looking, and almost looks like a small pebble that's often brownish or gold-colored. These insulation often has asbestos. Number two, most of the tile floors will have asbestos adhesives, especially the 9x9. Number three, the popcorn ceilings. And number four, the ductwork with white tape on it. The white tape is often asbestos containing. Number five, the exterior sidings are not made of wood or metal. basically cement sidings. Those are the ones that look like a bunch of panels overlaying on each other. Again, if the house was built before 1978, it is likely the house will contain asbestos, and it can be anywhere. So if you are buying or renting an old house, it is assumed that it does, period. Also, the home inspection reports will have mentions about asbestos. Note that most of the home inspection reports are very generic, so they won't be able to tell you exactly where and how much asbestos are present. But if they visually see something that is likely to have asbestos, they will put that on the report and recommend you to hire a asbestos professionals for further inspections, should you choose to do so. So, not a bad idea to contact the home inspectors who wrote the report and ask them specifically about what they saw. Now, the question becomes, what should I do about asbestos in my home? The answer to it is, it really depends. Before we get into it, I want you to understand that asbestos is only harmful if it's been disturbed and the particles become airborne and then inhaled. And then after that, it will have to be constantly exposed to our respiratory system for a very long period of time to cause us sick. So don't freak out if you are touching your popcorn ceilings or vinyl floors with your hands. With that said, asbestos are perfectly safe if the material containing it is not disturbed or friable. If you're living in a house that you are suspecting it has asbestos in the floor or drywall or exterior, know that most of these materials are very well contained, even if after the paint is already deteriorating. So if you just leave the material alone, it is not likely to cause you any harms. In other words, don't try to sand, drill, or saw asbestos containing materials or use abrasive cleaning methods on asbestos flooring. Also, don't try to remove the popcorn ceilings or the vermiculite insulations yourself, as you're likely to disturb the material. If you want to remove all asbestos, realize that unless you completely gut the house down to a studs, there's no guarantee that you would be able to completely get rid of all asbestos. So just approach it like how you would normally renovate a house. Hire professional contractors, handymans to handle the task of replacing the floor, tearing down the wall, replacing the roof, and so on. For asbestos testings, should you want to go that route, the cost will be in the thousands in the Bay Area, depending on how many places you want to test and abate. Besides removing the materials, you can also choose to manage the existing materials by either encapsulations or enclosure. Both techniques are about preventing the material from releasing asbestos fibrils when disturbed and are a lot cheaper options. Regardless, don't try to do it yourself, always consult with professionals. So, the ultimate question you're going to ask is, should I buy an older home that's likely to have asbestos? The answer really is, depends. Homes that contain asbestos won't sell less than the market value because of asbestos, unless the home has active asbestos issues, meaning that the materials are rotting and asbestos particles are released. But then again, these homes are typically fixer-uppers, and they're going to be at a much cheaper price anyways. On the side note, besides home building materials, asbestos are also part of many common consumer goods that we use in our daily lives, such as cigarette filters, book bindings, hair dryers, crayons, iron board covers, microwaves, coffee pots, and many, many more. So, if you want to completely be without any asbestos in your life, you'll have to skip most of the homes in America and also avoid using many common daily goods. But if you understand what it is and know how to manage it, like most homeowners do, asbestos isn't going to be a problem. And remember, if you have doubts, always consult with asbestos abatement company for the exact situation that you run into. That's it for the video. If you have more unanswered questions regarding buying a home and what to look for to find problems and issues, feel free to reach out and I will see you on the next video.